Good evening. Welcome home. Sorry we are a little bit late today. The internet is not my friend. My name is Daniel Brower. I use any pronouns, and I am the associate pastor here at First Christian Church of Decatur. Welcome to our 601 Wednesday check-in and meditation. I hope that everyone is having a lovely night. I am here in the front office of the church today, and everyone in the library is looking at me funny because they can hear me doing this. And I'm just enjoying some time with my cat. This is Pan. Everyone say hi. Everyone, this is Pan. Pan, this is everyone. She's not a big fan of this. Okay, bye now. Anyway, I know. But lately, I have been listening to a lot of Christian music. I think people expect that of pastors, that we only listen to Christian music. I will say that's not all I listen to, but there is something about when things are tumultuous in life, you kind of go back to the basics. You go back to what you're familiar with. And for me, I grew up with this music. I've particularly been listening to Stephen Curtis Chapman's album Heaven in the Real World from 1994. Um, I remember this album when I was a kid. I thought this album was so cool. Um, and it is kind of. It's Don't get me wrong. It's a banger. Stephen Curtis Chapman, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Great songwriter, great musician. But you see, Christian music in the 90s kind of had this thing where the first verse of any song is really upbeat and fun and relatable, and you're like, yeah, I get it. And then they get to the second verse and it's like, and nobody believes in right and wrong anymore, and we're the only people who know anything, and secular people and non-believers are stupid, and like, all right, calm down. We didn't need to do all that. um Heaven in the Real World in particular has like four songs that do exactly that. The one that really gets me is called Facts Are Facts, because it's really catchy. I'm not going to sing it for you right now. But the chorus goes, I know there's a God that knows my name and a son who died to take the blame. I believe Jesus is coming back because a promise is a promise and a fact's a fact, which is great. I can get behind that, sure. And then the verses are like, we live in a post-truth society and no one believes in anything anymore, but we're the only people who know the truth. And it's like, oh, all right, that's less accurate. But we like that sort of thing, right? It's comfier to believe that we as Christians have all the answers and we can be totally sure that we are right all the time because God wouldn't let us be wrong now, would they? But that's just not the case. Black and white is very comfortable, but it's not all there is. The world is really complicated. There is so much going on in this world that requires us to be educated. It requires us to pay attention. It requires us to think about things in shades of not black and white. Situations are rarely as simple as they might first seem, and things that look easy on the surface can turn out to be a lot harder. Now, this applies at a national level, a community level, and a personal level. So, whatever you think I'm talking about, yes. The world is complicated more and more all the time. And it can be hard to know where to look or what to do. Nothing is simple anymore. I say nothing is simple anymore like anything ever was. It was simple because we were kids and we didn't know this stuff. But now we're older and we realize that things are not that easy. It's not as simple as, throwing a tune on it and saying facts are facts because are they? Are you sure? Or the alternative facts, we don't, you know, I wish things were easy and they're just not. But there are some things that we can cling to. Like Stephen said, there is a God who knows your name. God is love. Every person, regardless of nationality or race or creed, deserves safety and dignity and care. The killing of innocent people is wrong. Peace is possible. I know that God doesn't ask a lot of us, while at the same time, God asks everything of us. What does Micah say? What does the Lord require of us? But to do justice and love mercy and walk humbly with God. What did Jesus say? What is the greatest commandment but to love God and to love your neighbor? Everything else follows after. It sounds very simple. It sounds very black and white, but it can be very complicated because justice knows no borders and love knows no side. And we don't have to have all the answers and we don't have to be right about everything to be right about that. We don't have to be right to show compassion. Because at the end of the day, promise is a promise and a fact's a fact. And that's the way it is, as my father used to say. Pretty sure he got that from someone else. Don't at me in the comments because I am 30. And I don't know who originally said that. If you would like to be part of a compassionate community that is committed to showing love and grace to one another, whether or not you're right, and whether or not you have all the answers, I invite you to join us at First Christian Church of Decatur. If you are already part of our beloved community, I invite you to join us in person in worship. We're back in the sanctuary now, and it is a very different experience um, hearing Adam play the organ in the room rather than down the hall while we're in the fellowship hall. Sunday worship starts at 10:25 as usual, in person and online. And if you are not exactly a church person, if you don't really vibe with the worship service, but you still want to hang out with us because we are very cool, I encourage you to volunteer with us for the Christmas tree sale. We are right this second 1 month away from the beginning of our Christmas tree sale, and it is going to be a heck of a year. So please come down and join us. The sign up link is in the description. You can sign up for 1 shift, 2 shift, red shift, blue shift, whatever floats your boat. We'll be glad to have you. And whenever you join us, whether or not you join us, just know that God made you special. God loves you very much. And so do I. Have a good night.